Okay, so I thought I'd take a little time and just work through the process that you guys are currently working with at school and see what I come up with. I need my general problem statement. And let's see, should be right there. Kind of play around a little bit. And my general problem statement is that I must make a wooden art project for sale at the local night market. And my thought is that I want to make a marionette. It's a toy. There's going to be kids there, or at least my belief there'll be kids there, and put on a little show maybe with them and sell them type of thing. Good marketing plan. So, I've got a few thoughts that this might work, but I'm not sure, because one thing is for sure, I don't know how to make a marionette. But, I figure I can figure out how to, so I am going to go and try to discover how marionettes are made, and that kind of makes my subsidiary category making marionettes. This is what do I need to know type thing. So, I need to know how to make a marionette. Pretty, just straightforward. I don't know. I need to know. So I'm going to go and do a YouTube search, because I'm one of these types of people that, I don't want to just read about it. I want to see somebody doing it. I want to see the process and see if I feel comfortable in whether or not I can complete that process. So I'm going to jump out here and do a web search, which I've already done. And in doing so, I made some discoveries. Maybe that's the first one. Let's see. I think there's a little more to this. There we go. Sorry about that. I discovered an inspirational art piece that shows just how talented someone can be with marionettes, and I was like, this is really cool. It's something I can maybe use for marketing, or I could use for other purposes, but we'll pop out here and look at it for just a minute. It's a really cool piece. Hopefully making that full screen doesn't cut it off. If it does, I'll jump back out of here, but I think you can see his head's getting up out of the screen. So I'll jump back down there. But this goes on, and it's really cool. You guys should watch it. The puppet, discovers that he is a puppet. And it goes through, and it has a really cool ending. 6 minutes out of your day for some culture and art. It's well worth it. Go ahead and jump back off of here. Shut this off so it just doesn't interfere with the rest of the video. And jump back to my document. And I also discovered, hopefully, yep, there, that should be all the way to the YouTube link. Excuse me. A site that shows how to build quick marionettes from paper, tape, and wire, or paper mache. And we'll go ahead and jump out there, and I'll give you a quick view of it. And this is a tape up one.
And this is a tutorial on how to make a marionette. That's kind of that absurdity that exactly pieces you need to make.
Okay, yeah, but basically he's just rolling paper around wire, and then he, seals it with masking tape.
To make yourself hook.
Has to make the hooks and stuff on it, puts it together, shows you a quick thing here about how to control it.
You can add more string.
And, also back in here it showed how to make it from paper mache instead of just using tape, so that you get better and paint it up. Nothing major, but some good things. And plus, what I really like is this had the names of.
There's a lot of different things you can do. Here's one that I'm working on. That's how to sell you clay.
Okay, and I stopped there for a second so you'd hear that. It's made out of celluclay. So, I can take this information and think, well, if I need a different type of face, there's one made out of a different type of material that he talks about. This type of plastic that you can just buy, or modeling clay type stuff. But either way, it gives me some information of things that, even though I'm not fond of the paper stuff, I do see how different things are put together, how different handles are made, and such of that nature. But go ahead and close it back off. We'll jump back out here to our Word doc again. I found another site. I think this is enough of it. That shows you how to turn a stuffed animal into a marionette. This is a quick and easy, and not saying that I want to slide by, but sometimes quick and easies work, especially at a festival or something of that nature.
I'm a puppeteer.
I'll pause this for a second.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make a simple stuffed animal into a marionette. We're going to use a teddy bear,
the space bar's not let me pause
for the marionette, some fishing line.
Anyway, so I pause. But you could probably buy these pretty quick. This would be inexpensive wood that could be, not much cost there. What the guy does is basically teaches you how to, wire up a stuffed animal so that you can make a puppet out of it. I could see these dressed, up, doing things, putting clothes on, dressing them like the 1920s, or, maybe a cowboy, things of that nature, kind of like Build-A-Bear, for not trying to steal their ideas, but to make something that could be, quick and easily made and sold to kids at a festival like that. So that's a thought. And then I think I have one more right here. Let's go ahead and pop over to it. This site shows how to make simple wooden marionettes. So, staying with what processes we've been doing. Here's that site, and I'm not going to show it all to you. If you want to look at it, if this interests you, go ahead and do it. The person just takes a square block of wood, a round piece like a foot for a table, or, you could get a wooden round doorknob or something of that nature for a head, and makes a whole bunch of different dowel rod lengths and just hooks them together with the eye-rings. He does do an excellent job here at cleaning it up and putting an outfit on it. Let me see if I can just get you to the outfit real quick. There we go. So it's got this little, dude with it looks like a strainer or something to a sink, and some hair and some tinfoil or whatever. Kind of makes him look like a rocket type person or explorer or something, maybe an early knight or king or something of that nature. It's, pretty cool. But anyway, what that does is that puts me in a position of, being able to say, okay, I honestly think I can make a marionette. Now, what else do I need to know? If I want to make one of these just to see if I can, then that's where I have to get one of these very integral, and I will show you that in the next video. But I'm going to keep this one under 10. Remember, we had our general problem statement. You need to write that. I started with kind of my interest, or maybe searching for designs, whatever. And because you could do that at random, just start looking at wood art products until you see something you're like, oh my gosh, that's maybe that's what you're interested in, is making a bowl or making a stand of some sort, something of that nature. I kind of started looking, here's my subsidiary category, that making marionettes. I need to figure it out. And I went out and I just did a little bit of research. I think what I'm going to do, just so that I can see how they function, and because it'll have very, very little cost, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to make a paper mache marionette. I'm pretty sure that the head and such for it, I'm not a sculptor, so I'm not going to say I'm going to do a good job with that, and so maybe I'll just try to keep it simple something round, you know, maybe go around a little round styrofoam ball or something and buy it and put paper mache over it so that I can keep the face nice and round and give it some features by decorating it up with paint and things of that nature. But definitely not going to try to sculpt something out. And go ahead, think about this. You should have already had this much done, and you should also have video 2 done. So bye for now, and watch video 2, and after you write this kind of stuff down and get it, and pick one of them and do what's in video 2. Alright.